Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dietrich, and I am currently sitting in a 2025 Genesis GV70, and I'm going to teach you how to use the Smart Cruise Control and the Lane Following Assist. So the first thing, you've got this little square button right here. You can toggle through the screens that you're looking at in the middle. That's the screen we want to look at. So the Smart Cruise Control system works just like regular cruise control. If there's no cars around, you just push that to activate the system and set the speed. The little car with the clock next to it, that's actually supposed to be a speedometer. And if there, let's say you set it to 70, you're on the highway, there's no cars around, you'll just go 70. But because the system is smart and it uses the car's camera and radar sensor to see the cars in front of you, you can lock onto the car in front of you and it will speed up and slow down with the car in front, and it can even bring itself to a complete stop, which is a lifesaver in heavy traffic. So again, to start the system, you just push that button once you're underway to set the speed. The plus and the minus right here, you bump up to increase your speed or bump down to decrease it, and you can bump and hold to go in 5-mile-per-hour increments. This button changes your following distance. Yeah, Smart Cruise Control conditions not met because we're not moving. This button changes the following distance, so you can change kind of the approximate gap between you and the car in front of you. Again, it's a smart system, so how far is the gap? Is it 100 feet? Is it 50 feet? Well, it depends on the speed. It's going to be a lot further at 70 miles per hour than it is at 7, which makes sense. This is the button to turn the lane following assist on or off. So when you see that little steering wheel grayed out up there, that means that the system is on. Once that steering wheel turns green, then it is active. The lane following assist works in concert with the Smart Cruise Control. What it does is it reads the lane lines and kind of follows the car in front of you. And it can control the steering a little bit to keep you centered in your lane, but this is not a self-driving system. Neither of these systems are self-driving. You still need to keep your hand on the wheel. The car will give you an alert if it doesn't think you have your hand on the wheel. You need to watch the road. You need to be ready to intervene if somebody cuts you off really bad or if there's something going on. You need to be able to just hit the brakes, because that's how you cancel the Smart Cruise Control and take over. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. We're going to take this car out on the road right now and demonstrate the system. So here we are out on the road. We're ready to get this going. So I'm going to push the button with the little car on the clock to activate the Smart Cruise Control. I'm going to whack this plus button a bunch of times to increase my speed. I'm going to hold it to go in increments of 5 miles an hour. So now my speed is set to 50, and I'm going to push the button with the steering wheel in between the lanes to activate the lane keep assist. So here we go. We are locked onto the car in front of us. That's the little bar of soap. The green laser beam indicates that we're tracking it for steering purposes. Now the vehicle in front of us is slowing down. We're slowing down a little bit. I do not have my foot on the gas or the brake. Now here's one right here. This guy's getting in front of me. I'm keeping an eye on it. All right, now you hear the Genesis just beeped at me. I didn't intervene. I let the car figure that one out on its own. If he really would have been any closer to me, I would have just hit the brake and taken control myself. This system is mainly looking forward. It's not so much focused on the peripheral. It's mainly looking forward. So in a situation like that, you just want to make sure that you don't make any mistakes and hit anybody because you think the system's going to do it. Keep an eye on it. Make sure that it is reacting in the way that it should. Now we're still going. I still haven't hit the brake or the gas. I'm keeping up with these guys, and they are all going to take this freeway on-ramp, which I am not going to take. So now this is something you got to look out for. As you can see here, the road in front of me is cleared, so it's accelerating up to 50 because that's where I have it set. And I am going to decrease it a little bit because I don't know that I really want to go 50. And then I have to make this right turn, so I'm just going to hit the brake right now and take control of the system, because the system doesn't read stoplights, and even if you signal, it's not really going to slow down on a surface street for you to make the turn. Now that I'm recentered in a lane, I'm just going to push right there. Again, the little pause and resume button, so I just pushed on that toggle switch to resume. And now we are going forward. That's what the display looks like when it's not locked onto a car. So we're just doing 45 and haven't caught up to anyone. Let's see. This is a Lucid Air in front of me. We're gonna lock onto the Lucid Air. If you're watching this video in like 4 or 5 years, you may not know what that is. Okay, so now we locked onto that car, so we have the bar of soap in front of us, and we are coming to a complete stop. Boom, and that's how the system works. So now we're stopped. I don't have my foot on the gas or the brake, and we're just gonna sit here and wait for the light to turn green. Now, another little word of caution, be mindful of what type of vehicle you're following. So this is just a regular sedan. The example I always use is, let's say you're following a flatbed delivery truck with nothing on the bed of the truck. Are you locked on to the back of the truck or the back of the cab? Now, I'm just going to tap the gas. That's another way to get it moving again. And I have reactivated the Smart Cruise Control, and off we go. So just be mindful of what type of a vehicle that you're following to make sure that, you know, you're locked onto it properly. Most modern systems don't have an issue with that. As a general rule of thumb, I don't love using the system to follow motorcycles. Depending on the manufacturer, some smart or adaptive cruise control system will say you shouldn't use it to follow a motorcycle. Some of them will do it, but you know, if you hit somebody on a bike, you don't want to hit anybody, but if you hit somebody on a bike, that's like a lot worse. So that's another thing. The system is designed to do what it's doing now, which is just to be locked on to the car in front of you. And I'm actually going to make a left at this street. So I am going to hit the brake, which is what I did to slow down. And now I'm just going to click resume. And I may have done that. I may have gotten too fancy with it. You can hear my groceries sliding around in the back. I didn't think that was going to be quite a thing. Okay, I didn't get too fancy with it. So, again, if you have to make a maneuver like that, hit the brake, slow down, do what you need to do. I don't typically use this system on service streets. I really mainly only do it when I am making these how-to videos because the car more reliably comes to a stop. Typically, I'm using it on the freeway. In medium to heavy traffic is when it does its best work. I don't mind using these systems in the rain. They typically do work pretty well in the rain. I would recommend using that button to lengthen out your following distance if you are going to use it in the rain. And then if it's snowing or icy, I don't recommend using it at all. Another thing to be mindful of if you are like, let's say you're on the highway and there's no traffic around and you set the speed on the Smart Cruise Control to 70. It's just going to go 70 until there's a car to lock onto. So let's say there's no traffic to speak of, you're not locked onto anybody, you're just doing 70 miles an hour on your happy little way, and then all of a sudden up ahead you can see there was like an accident or something and the traffic is all slowed and stopped. Hit the brake, take control. That's not where the system is meant to do its thing. It's more meant to be locked on to the car in front of you like we're doing right now and speed up and slow down with that car. So just be mindful of that. Again, you're still driving. It's not a self-driving system. I have my hand on the steering wheel. I'm watching the road in front of me. And so now this will be... See, this is one reason why I don't like using it on surface streets, because this guy's going to make a right and it slows down like way too much. And now it's telling me watch for surrounding vehicles, and now I'm going to hit the brake because that light was yellow and I could see that it was going to turn red. And if I would have just let the Smart Cruise Control do what it was going to do, it would have blown through that light because it doesn't read traffic lights, and there was nobody in front of me to be locked onto. So also be careful of that. It doesn't read traffic signals. You know, you're still driving the car. This is just a driver aid. And like I said, I think the best time to use it is medium to heavy traffic, stop and go traffic on the freeway. It's a lifesaver in those conditions. Just to touch on the lane following assist a little bit too. So you have to have the Smart Cruise Control active for the lane following to work. And right now we know that it is working because The steering wheel is green, and we have the kind of green laser beam coming out of the car. So that just means that it can read the lane lines, and it's kind of trying to follow the car in front of us too. But again, the lane following, it is going to help keep you centered in your lane, but it's not self-driving. You still need to keep your hand on the wheel. You need to be alert and ready to intervene if the car does something wacky, and drive safely. And you know, you just hit the brake to turn the Smart Cruise Control off and turn the wheel to steer the vehicle. So pretty self-explanatory there, but both of these are very handy driver assistance systems. See, the lane following's off. Oh, now it's on. When that little steering wheel is gray, it means it's not doing anything because it doesn't trust the data that it's getting from its camera and its radar sensors. And when it's green, that means it's active. So anyway, these are both very good driver assistance systems, but they're not self-driving, so always pay attention. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It helps me out. And have a great day. Bye-bye.